Name a more iconic duo than PC games and mods, especially Sonic, who has had mods on literally almost every game that has been released for PC. Thanks for dedicated fans providing tools for the community. Given Sonic Frontiers was made in the Hedgehog engine, it was no surprise to anyone that this game was going to be modded day one, as everyone has already seen the amount of modding capability on any game that has used the Hedgehog engine, such as Generations, Unleashed, Lost War, literally all of them. The Hedgehog engine at this point is almost as moddable as Valve's Source engine, and now after about a month of Frontiers release, as in the making of this video, I'll deep diving down Game Banana and see what had the community come up with for this game in just about a month. Just as a heads up, I'll probably not go over most of them, as any new Sonic game or new moddable game, there is something called Clout mods, basically a low effort mod people make to get clout on Twitter, like hey look guys, it's Blaze the Cat in Sonic Frontiers, and it's just a reskin of the model, doesn't even blink an eye, and the boost and the motion effects are still blue, and you can still hear Sonic's voice, and no animation or any sort of effort besides slapping the model on top of Sonic's model, and just call it a day, and boom, now you got attention on Twitter, and mod showcases on YouTube be like, Sonic Frontiers, 10 playable characters, ha ha ha, with a clickbait thumbnail. Of course, this is not me disrespecting the modders who make these mods or the YouTube channels. If anything, this is actually smart and easy followers and clout and YouTube revenue, because the YouTube algorithms like to highlight these videos sometimes. Anyway, links for these mods are gonna be in the description with a timestamp, so refer to the timestamp to look for the mod you're specifically looking for. Anyway, let's begin. Alright, let's start with everyone's favorite, Shadow the Hedgehog. Obviously, as with any Hedgehog engine game, the first ever mod people will try to attempt to make is Shadow, because he's literally the easiest if you try to rig him onto Sonic's model. This mod is made by Mastaklo. This is the only mod that is not available on Game Banana on this list. While there are other versions of Shadow you can find there, the main selling point in this version is definitely going to be the glowing shoes when he starts skating, and that's a very nice touch, perhaps too nice, that made me prefer this mod over the other Shadow mods out there. Though I wish there was a voiceover mod for this one, because you could still hear Sonic. I would have modded the voices myself or grabbed the voice files from somebody else's Shadow, but I didn't want to misrepresent. This is a good mod nonetheless. This next one is called Sonic Impact Sonic by Haley, Noor, and Smiley. If you're wondering what is Sonic Impact, it's basically one of those Chaos X side projects he makes from time to time. If you don't know who's Chaos X, he is the dude behind the fan remake of Sonic 06, also known as Sonic P06, and Sonic Impact lore goes deeper than Superman's lore, but I'll summarize it. It is basically a Sonic Frontiers fan game before Frontiers became a thing. It was all based on the rumors we used to get before the gameplay reveal. Anyway, all this basically does is swap out the jogging animation and the boost animation to that of Impact Sonic's animation, and honestly it feels so nice because it gives us a feeling of freedom. It's a bit hard to describe, but that's what I'm getting vibes of, so it feels nice in a free movement controls, though his right leg needs fixing when he jogs. His boost animation is similar to Unleashed, and that's about it. If you don't like Frontiers running animation, this should be a decent option. Project M fans will love this one. Jet Set Radio, perhaps the best, if not one of the best iterations of fan-made Sonic designs, and a clever one too. Unlike some stupid cringy creepypasta from 2012, this mod was made by Junior. It looks slick as hell. His skating animation is nice, and he has a different one when he starts boosting. Think it is built upon Sonic's Frontiers model, instead of a whole model swap, which I kinda appreciate. This next one is Super Sonic Faithful by Kewells. This mod swaps out normal Sonic with Super Sonic, as well as the majority of the animations. Also, they replaced the Super Sonic with Hypersonic, though I'm not going to be able to show him off as I don't want to mess with my save files just yet. This Super Sonic is busted. He has twice the height for his jump. He can fly with his air boost while also slowly ascending upwards as he goes. I was surprised by how much fun I had, especially with the flight. In the fourth island, I crossed over the invisible wall between the fourth island and the first island. I thought I was gonna fall through the floor or something, but to my surprise, it was just the first island minus the rails and object placements. Also, Sonic seems to be able to do more damage in this mod. Well, it kinda makes sense. There's also a version that has no physics changes for those who want to mix it up with other physics mod. The Deadly Six is one of the most hated characters in the franchise, but yet it blew my mind seeing mods for Zavok this early. It actually has a voice mod, which is as simple as it sounds. 80% of the mods out there doesn't even bother themselves including in their model swaps. His jump ball is huge. Ayo, pause on that though. And the fact that a modder who made this somehow made someone as broad as Zavok fit over Sonic's model without making his limbs seem disjointed is impressive. This mod was made by Star Noodle 495, and honestly, as much as no one cares about Zavok nor the Deadly Six, you gotta admit this mod actually holds some quality, and that's what I'm mostly looking for. Alright, let's get to the gameplay overhaul mods, and I want to start with the most sought after requested mod ever since this game hit the store shelf, which is the OpenWorld physics in Cyberspace by Rocket Jimmer. For some reason, the Cyberspace levels controls much differently than it does in the OpenWorld, and perhaps worse than it does in the OpenWorld. But with this mod, it enables the OpenWorld physics in Cyberspace, which is a welcome change, though this mod kinda makes him go a bit slower, but it shouldn't affect your overall experience. You can still get S rank on 1-2. Enjoy making those turns that you couldn't quite do normally. For those who complain about the lack of momentum, this mod is for you. Showen's momentum tweak by Showen, tweaking the physics to be more focused on gaining momentum. Going uphill will make you significantly lose speed, and vice versa when going downhill, nerfing the boost to an almost unusable state, forcing you to rely more on momentum. In my opinion, it didn't really capture the feeling of real momentum, but I appreciate the attempt anyway. But I don't think the overworld is built with abusing momentum in mind, so the gameplay experience wasn't that much better. In fact, the limited boost was a bit annoying to manage, and it depletes faster than Breath of the Wild Link stamina. Also, don't play Cyberspace with this mod, you'll find yourself flying over the whole stage if you get launched off of a spring or a ramp, but it's still a decent attempt at bringing momentum gameplay onto Frontiers. The one I had the most fun with has to be Hedgehog May Cry by Kirby Crew 661. As the name implies, this mod focuses on combat and making it feel like your typical fast and paced hack and slash, hence the name, Hedgehog May Cry. Something Sonic Team tried doing for this game early in development, but it didn't work out for them, they said. Did this mod do it though? No, but it did improve the combat with minor little changes that overall gave me a better experience. Well, for the most part. The list of the changes is huge. If you want to know everything in detail, you can read their Game Banana page, but in summary, all the enemies has like 5 times the HP and Sonic does little to no damage, but your Phantom Rush meter and your quick side loop charge more often so you can chain up combos more easily, and you can style on your enemies in the air almost endlessly. You have to max out Sonic in order to hope to do any major damage to these guys, but each Guardian fight can take up almost 5 minutes to beat as level 40 attack Sonic. Not every Guardian had their HP puffed up that much though, as some of with the quote-unquote wait for me to finish my attack so you can attack type of guys don't have that major HP buff, as that would have been a bit tedious to fight, but Tank was almost impossible for me on my testing. His Cyclone phase stays up forever because your homing attack does little to no damage, and I think that needs fixing. Other than that, everything was fun. Also, most of the attack animation feels so much faster. My only complaint other than Tank being a tank, hence the name, is why did you crank up the overworld physics? I feel like if your mod tries to focus on combat, it should just stick with combat rather than messing with everything else. Though there is a tool on Game Banana that allows you to create your own physics mod by combining different physics mods from the ones you like all together, since both combat and movement changes are stored under the same file. So now you know if you didn't know. Also, I'll personally play a new game under this mod because it was that good for me. So that's about every mod for this video. As for the first mod of Frontiers, it is quite surprising to see that many mods surged up by the community. I don't think I've seen that many mods come up during the first month of a Sonic game as much as Frontiers did, and that makes me happy knowing the future of this game is looking quite bright, at least from the modding department, and all of that despite the lack of modding tools. Scythe is definitely cooking something in the lab, and so is many other 5-head modders. The stage mods are possible as Scythe already ported the Green Hill Zone from Generations onto Frontiers, so rest assured. But don't expect them to be quite common for now due to the lack of tools, as I said. I don't have a request for the modding community for Frontiers. Please do not gatekeep the tools or knowledge from those new people who want to learn how to mod the game themselves, like what happened for Generations years ago. We all know you gain more clout if fewer people made mods, and your mods are going to receive more attention, but you have to realize that is why Generations didn't have as many mods as it should have, because for the first 7 years or so, the modding community kept gatekeeping their stuff. But I don't want to deep dive into this topic right now. If you got here, thank you for watching. I might do these on a monthly or even weekly basis if you guys support it. Anyway, see ya.